All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome everyone here to the State of Synth. My name is Dennis G.
And I'm Neon Fox.
What's going on, my good friend, Mr. Neon Fox? I know you have had a week. You went to a show?
The midnight. Woo-wee.
Wow.
Man, it's been a while since got to enjoy a concert like that.
Yeah, I saw some pics.
Yeah, they packed the place.
Did they?
Yeah.
It was a pretty big room?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not a pretty one of our bigger venues for, I would say, indie music. I mean, we're not talking stadium, right? But it's one of the bigger ones in Toronto.
Nice. They sold out, I guess?
I think so. I know. You know what? There was a balcony section, and the balcony section wasn't filled.
They're the pricey ones.
The main floor was jammed.
Yeah.
Just rammed.
I bet. You didn't get the vids, I guess? That's good, right?
Yeah, I got some vids, and I managed to hang out near the tour bus at the end.
Wait, you did get the vids?
Tim and Tyler. Did I get what?
Oh, you mean videos. I meant the,
the
Coronas. I thought you got some Coronas.
Oh, no. You know what? The concert was 2 days before masks off in Toronto, so
there you go.
We had to wear masks at the event.
Well, we don't worry about that no more in the States anymore. It don't matter.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, for those listening, we started off, right before our little intro there, we started off with the latest track. Actually, it was a track by UK artist Brandon. It's from his latest EP, Coastline, which he secretly released and didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, he did that on the sneak.
I know. That track was called Coda. So, I recommend everybody check out this breezy EP. It's got collabs from Aztec's own Natalie Gray, as well as a remix of Indiana's track, Physical. So,
very nice.
Everyone should go check out Coastline by Brandon.
Go check that out. We got a lot of stuff. We have a show that is chock full of music here tonight, Jules. I don't even know how we're going to have time to play all this, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, we'll just play it double speed.
Double speed, double time. We're going to flip it on.
Stick that tempo slider up.
What is it? You flip it on the 45, and then you just play like a chipmunk, and then that's going to be our show. And there we go. I tell you what, we are going to dive right into it. We have a very awesome guest. We have Diamond Field coming up in just a little bit. And, of course, once again, we have a lot of great tunes. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and jump into our top story. Top story of the evening. Retro Reverb Records plans a charity album. Yes, that is right. It seems that the boys over at Retro Reverb Records are planning on releasing another charity album to benefit mental health. And it's scheduled to be released later in the spring. You know the Retro Reverb guys over there, right, Mr. Jules?
Oh, yeah.
They had a charity album before.
Alex and Cole?
Yes.
Those boys.
Yes,
awesome.
They got a decent roster, too, of great artists, and their very first charity album was Retro Reverb Rhythms, and they did that, and it was a big thing, and I think that was for mental health as well.
I like labels and things who do stuff for mental health.
It is nice.
Yeah.
It's nice when they have albums and stuff. I know we try to have at least one show a season kind of dedicated to mental health, and we think it's really, really important, especially nowadays with all the craziness that's going on. Mental health is very important. It's important to support people and just get the help you need if you need to get the help, and to have services. It's really the difference between life and death sometimes. So we loved having our charities to support. That's one of our favorite charities. In fact, we are going to be helping out the charity album. We're going to be having a very big blowout mental health show on the State of Synth later on, I think in April.
Wicked.
It's going to be amazing. And we're going to have a lot of the guests. We're going to roll out the album and give you all the information. Right now, there's not a lot of details on it so far, but we do have our resident reporter, Lonnie Crane, who is he's out there, and I believe he has a little bit of information he can share. Lonnie, are you out there?
Thank you, Dennis. This is Lonnie Crane announcing Retro Reverb Records, Volume 2, a charity album supporting the Mental Health Foundation, which is a mental health foundation featuring nearly 30 synthwave artists. The album will be live released during an upcoming episode of The State of Synth. The episode will feature tracks from the album and interviews with the artists. So far, synthwave artists Eden Future, Cosmic Kiss, Ash Pool, Delta Wave 82, Rain, Dreaming Daytona have all been announced with more on the way, all to support a charitable cause. Stay tuned for the upcoming episode with details on when the album will be released, along with how you can support it. And in my opinion, they should have asked me to help. You know, I know a thing or two about charities and ways you can kind of twist the numbers around a little bit. I don't know. Anyways, you never heard me say that. Back to you, Dennis. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Lonnie Crane. I don't know if Lonnie Crane should be involved in that, honestly. He wants to help out, but yeah, Lonnie, we love you, but we're just trying to keep you out of trouble, my good friend. But yeah, it's a really cool thing. We'll keep you up to date. We'll put it out on socials. We'll let you know when our big mental health episode is going to happen, because it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to have a ton of guests, ton of artists from the album. But yeah, Mr. Jules, before we go ahead and play our very second track, do you want to go ahead and acknowledge a couple of the people in our chat room?
Of course, yeah. If you're listening to us, YouTube or in the Night Ride website, IRC, say hi. We'll give you a shout out. I know we've got Mr. Craig Packman all the way from Perth, down under.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've also got Dysterian and Mr. 3. Our friend Night Razor's there. Lord Pigger is here. Echo Vector X is tuned in, as well as Slow Tech Charles and Mistia Lorelei, IRC regulars. So hello.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And if you're tuning in on the IRC or if you're on the YouTube, just say hi. We'll say your name over the air. If you're listening to it in the archive, you are just as cool, but we can't say your name, unfortunately. But, you know.
There you go. You know what? Screech has just joined the IRC.
There you go.
Hello, Screech.
There you go. Shout out to Screech. Let's go ahead and play this very first track here. We played a song by Lavenue last week.
And we played one the week before.
And did we?
Because he so like for like the 3 or 4 Saturdays before his new album release, he's been dropping a new single every Saturday. So between us and Karin,
oh my God,
folks have heard some Lavenue.
Well, let's just say we do love our Lavenue, and he's amazing. And yeah, we don't mind promoting the artists that we really, really love. And you know, maybe 3 is a little excessive. We gotta have him on the show again, then we could play a bunch of his stuff again.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's definitely worth playing and definitely worth picking up. This album is incredible. I listened to it a couple days ago, and it's just, you know, just like Lavenue, he's always bringing that whole vibe, that experience, and it's amazing. He's doing this whole bad cop kind of thing, like this really, you know, 80s cop drama type of vibe, and I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, you know what I like about Lavenue? Also, the artwork that he includes for his albums and his posters.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't shy away from the 80s aesthetic, right? So, the poster for this one is like typical. It's a tall poster, and it's like typical rainy midnight street lights in a city.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just gorgeous. It's, you know.
That's it. So why don't we go ahead and drop this, Mr. Neon Fox? You want to go ahead and set this up?
Yeah. So Lavenue is from the UK, and he's dropping his new album, L'Ectrique. So Lavenue is dropping L'Ectrique this Saturday, March 26th. And as usual, there'll be merch to get. There'll be merch that you can give your credit card a workout on. Vinyl, cassette, CD, posters. I mean, it's Lavenue, so you know the merch is going to be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to pick up a vinyl and a poster.
Jules, keep it cool. Only one physical.
I know. I'm
one physical,
yeah.
Jules.
That's it.
You're limited.
So, yeah, he's letting us play another sneak peek for you guys. This is a wonderful track from the album called Missing in Santa Clara, right here on Night Ride FM.
Enjoy. boy. Once again, that was Missing in Santa Carla?
Or Carla, yeah. I said Clara before.
Wow.
But it's actually Carla.
Wow, Lavender, you're really trying to mess me up. You know I can't pronounce things, so like he mixed up the words there. And Santa Carla, I
Carla.
am really surprised I got it right. So, yay for me.
Awesome.
That's exciting. Yes, so real quick before we go ahead and bring on our guests, we would like to, I guess, introduce a couple people that popped into the IRC.
Yeah. Over in YouTube, we've got Vernon, Foxtail, and Northern Purgatory.
Nice.
So welcome, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much. And we're going to talk a bunch. Sorry, YouTubers, if you just came to Synth and Chill, you can always go to our Chill Synth station. We have about, 20 stations now? I feel like
you
we have,
can actually
100
learn
of them.
something.
Yes, about our very special guest and the cool music that he produces. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you Diamond Field, Andy Diamond. What's going on, my man?
Good evening, Jules and
Hello.
Dennis.
Yes, thank you for being on the show. Thank you so much. And real quick before we get started, I'm always on this thing with guests. The accent, are we talking New Zealand?
Yes,
or...
we are.
Okay.
Yep, you got it right.
I didn't want to say the wrong one because if I said Australian, then
I don't know why people always say that. They always I'm really sorry I got it. Was mixed up with an Australian. It's like, that's fine, that's fine. It's like they think we have some kind of huge rivalry.
So is it like a myth? Is the whole rivalry
It's
thing?
not like Canadians and Americans.
Right.
It's a little bit like that. I guess the rivalry really comes down to things like sports.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually. So, but you guys aren't wearing your colors or nothing like that, and coming into each other's neighborhoods.
The Kiwis keep their right leg pant pulled up, and the Aussies keep their left leg pant.
Yeah.
Throwing
Just
up the
slightly
gang
kind of
signs and
pulled down a little bit.
And you'll have a dance. You have a dance off.
That's right.
Yeah.
When they really get angry.
Generally, sports is generally the thing. I mean, we do make fun of each other's accents, but Australian is a little bit more pronounced in some way. I can do a good Australian accent, although I have to change my New Zealand accent here in the US because people can't understand what I'm saying a lot of the time.
Really?
Because they're used to American English,
But do you modify? So you modify your voice or your accent to? I want to say to speak English, but you speak English over there, right?
You don't have to look that up on Wikipedia, but
is it just heavy slang? I guess
it's an accent, so it's like a regional accent.
Can you say something really, really, really New Zealandy, like something that nobody can understand?
Oh, yeah, mate, how's it going? Good.
There you go.
I love it.
Hi, mate. How's it going?
You good?
That
good?
is
So
great.
we kind of clip things. You can't really understand what we're saying if we don't speaking really fast because it's kind of all blends into each other and you can't really hear it. You just kind of cut things off.
So that's the secret. You just gotta cut words halfway
if you
through.
Put a bunch of New Zealanders together and let them speak. You'd be like, what is? I think I understand what's going on.
Could that be a show?
So, yeah, it's but I do have to change. I have to speak a little bit more broadly, with R's and things like that, so people can understand.
You got to use consonants.
Yar.
Yes, that's important. But I love it. I love accents. I love people from different places because that's what makes the world go around. It's all a big globe, this world that we live on, and people from all over.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's cool to dip into different cultures and sports and stuff like that. You guys play a cricket thing or something, don't you? You hit things with what are they? Cutting boards. You just break out the cutting board and start.
Cricket bats. Man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And this rugby thing.
Oh yeah, what's that about?
No, rugby and cricket. I mean, those things are actually much bigger than American football or baseball in terms of how many countries actually play them.
I know, actually, it's insane. Like regular football. Well, we call football, but I guess it would be American football versus football.
Just handball, man.
But that is like the biggest, I think that's like the biggest sport in the world, which we call soccer.
Yep.
But I think I read some stats and like it's incredibly huge, like all over the world.
All you need is something round in a field.
Pretty much, you can do it. Yeah.
Kick it around.
I mean, because there's crazy things like the World Series of baseball and the world champions of football and American football, but it's only kind of maybe Canada jumps in there with the hockey and also the basketball and the baseball and stuff, but it's not a World Series really if you've only got two countries playing against you, unless you count Puerto Rico or something.
Indeed.
But,
speaking of sports, actually, I have a question for you. This kind of leads into our interview portion because we could talk about sports the whole time, but I don't think we want to do that. But I do have one last sports question, and it's got something to do with your name, Diamond Field. Is that anywhere sports related, or is it a different story that you have behind your name?
Haven't had that one before. Are you thinking like sports field?
I'm thinking like a diamond, a baseball diamond, and a field where you go to play. That's
a good one. That's a good one. I haven't heard that one before.
Are you serious?
No.
I thought I was like treading over like, oh, he's asking me the Diamond Field question again. So you really have never had anyone ask? Well, I feel very, I don't know, like important.
It does make sense though. It makes a lot of sense. I think asking the artist, where did you get your name, is kind of pretty much on the bottom of the barrel. But I guess I guess for something like this, I actually kind of thought about it beforehand so that when people did ask me how I got the name, it would be reasonably interesting.
Yeah, well, lay it on me.
I was trying to put a name together for this thing. This is for 2012, I guess. I was thinking, and I really liked this album by Pat Benatar called Tropico, which came out in 1985. It had the Ooh Ooh song and We Belong, which was that ballet.
Oh yeah.
Right. But the rest of the record's pretty cool. I really like it. And the opening track is called Diamond Field.
Oh, there you go.
And I thought, hey, it's a really cool song, good name. It sounds kind of cool. And I liked that record, and I thought, well, that'd be a cool thing to do. And also really liked the keyboard player in that band, Charlie Giordano. He used to wear a red beret and play this Jupiter 8 on stage, and he was a great synth player.
Nice.
Really added to her whole sound. So I thought, yeah, that's cool. I like that. And then the Diamond thing, the Andy Diamond thing is, well, my first name is Andrew, and I thought, well, I need to give myself a stage name.
You need a stage name, yeah.
And then obviously Diamond was going to work because I could. But there was a synth player in another band that I really liked called Berlin from the 80s. West Coast Orange County band. David Diamond was the synth player in that band.
Ah, there you go. So it's a little bit of a nod there too.
Yeah,
nice.
And he had this kind of cool, those cool 80s moustaches. And
yes.
Used to wear sort of white, white jacket with a kind of pastel.
My God. Yes. Yes.
Rolled up sleeves.
The Don
so
Johnson.
Classic, so typical.
Absolutely.
Do you want to know? I wore a Don Johnson tuxedo to my prom.
I wore it to school every day.
Get out of town. Did you?
Yeah. Until I started to feel a little bit weird.
Well, I haven't finished my story yet.
All right.
Go
Yes.
on.
So,
continue on.
Anyway, a couple of years ago, I actually got to interview David Diamond and mentioned that I kind of stole his name. So that was kind of...
What? Nice.
So I think he thought it was a bit weird, but also kind of, reasonably flattered, I guess. But that actually is his real name, David Diamond. And then a couple of years ago, my kid was learning music, and one of the students was the daughter of the keyboard player from Pat Benatar's band, Charlie Giordano.
Nice.
And so we would see each other at interview recitals and stuff, and I got to know him a little bit, and ended up playing this impromptu show with him. He came down and jammed with us, and he plays accordion and keyboards and stuff. we're playing this country rock band, and came down and played with us, and it was amazing. And actually, his main gig these days is the second keyboard player in the E Street Band, of all things.
Wow.
Cool.
So, and then I was sitting with him having a drink, and I said, I've got this band, and I kind of named it after a song that you guys did on that Pat Benatar record. And he goes, I haven't listened to that for like 30 years or something. And again, I probably thought I was a weird idiot, but kind of fanboying out. But it was kind of weird how both of those two guys I ended up kind of being reasonably friendly with long after I actually put the name together.
That's cool,
Okay,
though.
that's cool though. Yeah, like can you imagine, especially if you enjoy their music and. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. It's I like the fact that it's kind of a nod on different levels, and it's way more of a better story than my original story. So there you go.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with
I
baseball.
like that. Yeah, well, it's, if I'm on a sports show sometime,
Then
I'll
you can
just
you can use my story if you want. I'm gonna just like lend that to you. You can feel free if you ever want to
I'll
go
just
with
say,
the sports
man,
ball.
I love the Mets.
Because I love that sports ball, man.
Oh man, I
the
love that
best.
movie Diamond Field of Dreams.
Yeah,
Exactly. There you go.
Lucy in the Sky with diamond baseballs.
Yes, we have a ton of names. If you guys out there, if you ever need a synthwave name, Jules and I, especially right now, we are just synthwave naming machines. We will name your band, and you don't even have to give us any royalties or anything like that. Like, we'll just gift it to you.
Hey.
Well, you might have to maybe buy
I
Jules a couple
I need
Bandcamp
to
codes.
buy some Lavenue merch, man.
Jules takes payment in Yum codes, and
There you go.
Well, how about this one? Night Driver Palm Tree DeLorean 1985. You got that one yet?
I like that. I like
Yes,
that.
you forgot Sunset in there.
I think you
Oh.
covered all the bases with that.
Yeah, even the baseball ones and the diamond.
Perfect. All right, let's seal that one up and send it out into the crowd, and
I
we'll
think we
keep.
should get away from the sports now. I mean, I have nothing against sports, but
Let's do music. I'm much happier talking about music, and one of the things I want to know, and I'm just gonna dive right into some accolades in your direction here. I'm just gonna start tossing them in. You are one of the most authentic sounding 80s. I almost don't even want to call it synthwave, because you're like just oozing 80s to like another level where it's not like you're trying to emulate the 80s. Like, I feel like you like literally fell out of a time machine. Like you're just like, here I am, like, and it's very authentic. Like, you can listen to a Diamond Field song, which we'll go ahead and play after this, one of my favorite tracks from your album, your most recent album, and it just has that vibe. It has that just straight out 80s vibe. I think part of the reason too is I feel like you're kind of going for a different direction than a lot of the other quote-unquote synthwave bands are going in, where you sound more it's just a throwback to like your Pat Benatar and the Bangles and the Go-Go's and like all that like sunny sunglasses 80s fun music, that I think that a lot of people think of when they think of synthwave and 80s music. But
Well,
like,
okay, I'm gonna just pop in and say there's a lot of synthwave that sounds like soundtrack music, whether it's for movies or TV shows, and there's a lot of synthwave that is kind of like new wave. Andy's music is the actual. For me, it sounds like the 80s you actually heard on the radio.
yes, exactly. I could tune on the radio and tune it in and hear a song. If I was in the 80s, I would have not known anything different. Which,
that's
good job.
That's perfect. Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I was going for.
Is it a hardware thing? Like, what's your secret when you're really trying to dial in like that 80s sound? Is there a hardware that you go to, a synth, or is it filters? Because I have a feeling that you're a hardware guy. I'm sure you use some software, but I have a feeling that you're the old school synth guy. But
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
You could be. I did. Well, when I was in New Zealand, I had a huge hardware collection. I, pretty much every vintage synth that
I knew it
ever wanted. When I was younger, and then I saw, I eventually collected them all. DX7s and Prophet 5s and Roland stuff.
Yes.
Drum machines, all that. But when I relocated, I couldn't bring it with me, and I didn't want to leave it in storage, so I actually sold it off. And I kept a couple of things, but generally it was like, I sold a Roland Super Jupiter MKS80 with a programmer to Andrew Farris from In Excess of all people, stuff like that. I just wanted it to go to a good home, and also needed the money, and it works on different voltages, and want to send stuff around the world. And if you do leave that stuff in storage for a while and you don't use it, it can just kind of die, and it ends up being expensive to fix. And so I had to make a decision about that, and it was kind of tough. But once I got going, and saw it going to good homes, it was fine. And so after that, it's all been pretty much software.
Okay.
But I do my main instrument is bass guitar, and I think that kind of helps. So that that adds some kind of hardware to it.
That does make sense.
A little bit of guitar. I'm not a great guitar player, but I kind of do stuff that works for my songs that I can play myself. And then the keyboards, like the synths, I basically went for synth stuff that I used to own in hardware, or makes sense for the sort of music I'm doing, and trying to use it in the same way that the sort of songs that I liked, how they were created. And one of the most important things that I
think we lost him. I tell you what, though, we're going to go ahead and we're going to see if we can pull him back. I do know that there's a couple storms going around, but we're going to go ahead and just drop his track right now. So, Mr. Neon Fox, you want to go ahead and set this up, my friend?
Yeah, of course, yeah. From Diamond Field's latest album, which was self-titled Diamond Field. This is the track called New Situation, featuring Nina Luna.
Oh,
right.
On Night Ride FM. Enjoy.
This city's full of strangers, and the streets are cold.
And once again, that was New Situation with Diamond Field featuring Nina Luna. Very good. And we have...
I want to point out to everybody.
Yeah.
You can find that on the Sofa King vinyl.
Sofa King?
Sofa King.
Sofa King?
Vinyl. Not the other word.
You can say it fast if that's
So fucking vinyl.
You say it fast.
So yeah, you'll find Diamond Field's self-titled album.
There it is.
So fucking vinyl. They're great. They're a great label. Max Wallace out of LA. He's a vinyl enthusiast and started that label a few years ago. He's put out some great artists like Client Liaison, OSC, the Opus Science.
The Motion Epic.
The Motion Epic. Glass Apple Bonsai. He's put out, and there's a couple more new releases as well. But yeah, he kind of curates stuff, and originally it was vinyl only, and now he's doing cassettes and sometimes CDs, but he's very well known as doing very top-notch vinyl pressings. You know, the mastering is great, the pressing is great, and the quality
Speaking of which,
is good.
You've got various vinyls still available on the Sofa King website.
Yes. The album, like we had to, vinyl is taking forever. So we put that into production last year, about July, and we finally got them in February this year, which wasn't too bad considering. And we had some nice people who pre-ordered the vinyl, which was very nice of you if you're listening and you got one. And yeah, it's been worth the wait. It sounds really good on.
It's a color variant, right? Green?
Hot pink.
Oh, hot pink. That's right. The album cover is green.
Yeah, it's kind of like a aqua blue with pink accents.
Very nice. Very 80s.
It is kind of 80s, and but also I wanted to kind of give it slightly a modern feel. So that 3D render of the Diamond Field logo, which is basically some lines with the shape of diamonds, was done by Grant Osborne in Melbourne, Australia. He used to work for me as a graphic designer, and he got into 3D art, and he does motion graphics and stuff now for a lot of big Australian companies. Check him out on Instagram. You'll see all his. He's doing a series at the moment it's one alphabet letter per day, which is in the shape of a video game.
Oh, nice.
Render. So like A is, it's like a video game console. So it's I am Grant Osborne. Check him out on Instagram. He did the render for the front cover. So.
Oh, cool. Definitely check that out.
Yeah.
And we lost you a little bit, but we have you back. The great thing about live shows is things like this happen. And if you listen live, it's a wonderful treat to find out whether or not the show is going to go on without Andy Diamond. Well, we got him back. Yeah. And another fun little thing is you have a cute little cat in the background that it sounds like a ambulance siren, and the ambulance, there's also like police sirens, so we could even play like a game and we could try to figure out like the next sound we hear. We could say, is it a police siren or is it a cat? Because I swear they sound exactly the same. I love the cat though. It's cute. What kind of cat is it?
He's a tabby rescue, so he's a Brooklyn street cat, but he's
nice.
Calmed down now. He's actually making biscuits right now. So he should be all good from now on.
The old kneading on the lap.
What he's up to.
Yes.
Not on my lap. No, he'll never do that. He's a wild one.
Oh, very good. Very good. And being in New York, man, that's part of the background of living in New York. You have all kinds of action going on over there. We got to get up there one of these days. We're trying to talk Jules to come down. We're all going to meet. We're going to have a big Night Ride FM thing with performances.
I think we should all meet up there in June sometime.
We
will get to that. We will definitely get to that.
Well, I did meet. I have met Dennis at shows.
Yeah,
that's right.
What was the last? Did you come to that one with
the Bunny X?
Yeah, and Let 'Em Riot.
Let 'Em Riot. Yeah, that was
the last one. And Strap Block. That was the last show we kind of did before lockdown.
It was crazy, and we were supposed to do it again, and then it fell apart because the world fell apart. But here we are back again.
Yes, having another go at it.
Having another crack at the old concert thing.
Oh, but by the way, a quick shout out to Kal-El Jagger, who's in the IRC chat.
Hey, welcome.
Wait, is this live? Or is it recorded live? No.
Hello.
Andy's not recorded.
Oh,
Andy's live.
Shout out to Kal-El.
We give you the real deal here.
Yeah.
But we were talking before the break. We were talking about the authentic sound, and it makes a lot of sense with the fact that you play bass because it has a very organic sound. It feels like it's like produced like not like synthwave, like the 80s would produce a track, like we were saying, like you would hear it on the radio. But one of the things that I kind of listened in for, and every time I listen to a song, I want to see, you know, where the producer's head's at and everything like that, where they're going as far as the sound. I don't hear a lot of like the cliche synthwave elements, like, you know, your gated drums and your what is it when you side chain every single thing on the entire track. Was going for a more organic feel, was that built in by design? Was that your you know, ultimate method
definitely.
of doing it?
I mean, I don't, you know, I'm not saying, you know, any of that stuff is irrelevant or I don't like it. It's specific to the type of music that you make, and if you, you know, side chaining is something that's now exists to allow you to pump that kick drum and the bass, so they really pump together, and you get that sort of sound. But that wasn't really happening at the period of the music that I'm making when that was made, and I always stress this a lot. It's not so much that I'm trying to emulate an artist or something like that, like Tears for Fears or whatever. It's more that I'm listening to the production techniques of the time. So it's Tears for Fears producer,
right?
Or it's Phil Collins producer, or, you know, so it's like it's like Stephen Hague, who produced like Pet Shop Boys and New Order and a whole lot of other really great pop bands. And a guy called Peter Wolf, who did Wang Chung, and just listening to how they produced things, right, and applying those techniques to my music and trying to keep it authentic in that regard, because, you know, you have real drums or the sound of real drums combined with some drum machines and some real bass with some synth bass and some keyboards with, you know, and you've got singers. There's no auto-tune and stuff like that. So it's not, you know, I don't have anything against auto-tune if that's the style of music that you want to make.
Right, of course.
But for me, it's, I'm not going for that because then it wouldn't sound how I want it to sound. And I think, you know, you're talking about that synthwave production is also often can be quite in your face, loud, you know, everything's pumping and it's you know, and that's cool. But if I did that with this music, it would lose again some of that special sound that the 80s music had. So if you A/B a Diamond Field song against the Midnight or something like that, you'll find that it probably sounds quieter. It might sound less bassy, and
less 1980s, or sorry, less 1990s.
Yeah,
more 80s.
Or, I mean, the whole thing with with synthwave in general is it's taking an idea of 80s aesthetics and 80s sounds, but it's also transferring them to the modern world. So it's more of a homage or a tribute to that, and all the new production techniques and things that you can do on top of it. Otherwise, you would just be simply copycatting 80s music, and I'm not saying that that's what I'm doing specifically. I still think there's a bit of modernity in it, but it's side by side. Like if you put my record on and you've just put the Midnight on and you put mine on at the same volume, you're going to have to turn that volume knob up. But when you turn it up, that's when the dynamics start to come out, and that's what used to happen with an old record that you bought in the 80s. You had to turn up the volume to get the dynamics. It wasn't smashed to compete with everybody else who wants to be louder than everyone else. Although that's not happening so much these days because there is a standard that has kind of squashed the loudness wars, which is great. But I don't like the sound of distorted drums. I don't like stuff that's really crunchy. It just to me it sounds like someone has made a mistake in the mastering process. So I try to keep everything, you know,
close to the source material.
Right, so we'll leave Carpenter Brute out of this then.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, the thing is, that if I was to do a Carpenter Brute type thing, it would sound like me trying to copy Carpenter Brute. It would sound terrible.
Right.
Absolutely terrible. So
I love it.
I can't do
fact
that.
you
I
have a sound.
can't do it. And you know, you leave it to those guys to do that stuff well. You know, you just find your own niche.
Yeah, and I love that about it. Like, even though you're very playing close to the source material, you really are defining your own niche, because again, not many artists are really out there doing that real authentic. I know Damocles is pretty close to with his production style,
but he is really like him and Espen Kraft. You know, they are really hardware. Definitely, like Espen Kraft is definitely like Mr. Hardware.
I call him the professor. Like Indiana, and also he kind of looks like Indiana Jones from the movie The Raiders of the Lost Ark, but he's like the professor of synths.
He is, and I love watching his YouTube stuff, because I owned a lot of that stuff too, and love to watch other people talking about it. And I'm going, well, glad I don't have to fix that or do the OS up, or, you know, to get the chips fixed or something. But you need people out there who can do that to keep that alive. But for me, I used to find setting all that up and then trying to make a song, by the time I'd set everything up and got it in sync, I'd have to go home anyway, because it took so long to set everything up. But with a computer, you can pretty much get it open, fire up your session, and away you go. And then you think, all a computer is to me is like a digital tape deck. It's the same thing we used in the 80s or 90s. It's just what's the start of the song, what sort of sound do I need, and you use it like a tape recorder and build your song up. So that's another thing that's important. It's treating it like in the same way that you might have had a studio with a 24-track tape machine. How many tracks could I actually get away with back then? You know, it didn't. You know, we could only have this many. I mean, I did a little count of all the tracks on my sessions, and most of them are like, you know, they're not huge, but one's like 48 tracks, the other one might be 100 and something. But a lot of those are stacked. Like there's 80 vocal tracks on a couple of songs, you know.
Wow.
Because there's lots of vocals, and that's something that I'm really into as vocals. I like arranging vocals. I like recording them, having singers sing them. And the thing that I find frustrating about modern music, you know, if I'm sounding like a fuddy-duddy, is that this is why I make the music I do, because the type of music there's no intro, there's no pre-chorus, sometimes there isn't even a chorus, there's no bridge, there's no middle eight, there's not an outro, there's, you know, it's just one complete thing. And I like classic songwriters, like I love ABBA, and the way that they put a song together. You know, they're really thinking about, okay, this is the start of the song, this is how it builds, and then there's a verse, and then the second verse has actually got a little bit more going on, and then there's a solo coming up, and you know it's coming, but you're still enjoying the chorus, you know? You have these parts through the song, and I just kind of really wanted to see if I could achieve that.
Yeah, and I think you really do. It's a journey. That's what music is, and I think that your album really is conducive to like that longer journey type of sound. And I love the fact that you mentioned that you have vocalists, and I was going to mention that too, because I feel like you have vocals on every track, and it's really interesting that it's a different vocalist every time. And I love that, because it's kind of like a thing. It's like, do you do any vocals at all on your tracks, or is it just all guests, or do you do like a little bit of backing, or where are you at with that?
I'm not a singer. I do backing vocals occasionally if I can get away with them. That's usually in live situations when I'm playing with bands, but I'm not a singer. I did do vocal demos for a few of the songs on the records. Like I would actually sing the vocal, write the lyrics, and say, okay, this is kind of my idea, because I had a very specific idea.
Right.
So if I could sing, I might, but I also think other people could carry out that vision a lot better than I can, and I've got some really great friends who are excellent vocalists. So why not
so many.
Use them? Otherwise, you know, it would just be me. It would just be like me doing everything, and I like to collaborate. Like there's a few other people who play instruments on the record, and also it's just great working with, like, I kind of think of the record as like a compilation album by the same artist, you know.
I think that's really cool, yeah.
And other acts do that too, you know, like I always reference the Chemical Brothers or Massive Attack, where they would use different singers on there, but it's still Massive Attack, it's still the Chemical Brothers. They just might have Bernard Sumner, or, you know, they might have Noel Gallagher on one song or Liz Fraser on another, you know.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and drop another track here?
Sure.
And speaking of, this is another track from your, I guess this is your debut. I feel like this is your debut album, because before... That's incredible. That's incredible, too. The fact that you have been around since, what, like, I guess at least like 2014, 2012. The fact that you just came out with an album, really, it's a testament of how much time you put into crafting this album. I think that's really, really amazing. The fact that, you know, there's many artists, and no offense to any of the artists that crank out an album a year or 2 albums a year or an album a week, you know, like it was really something with you that it seems like you really honed these tracks over the years, and I think that is something that's not really happening as much anymore, and I think that's really cool. I wanted to make special notice of that. But yeah, let's dive into this track, Mr. Neon Fox, because I can never pronounce anybody's names. He does it a lot better than I do. Do you want to go ahead and set this next tune up?
Yep, from Mr. Field's self-titled album, Diamond Field, available on So Fucking Vinyl. This track is called Glowing in the Dark, featuring Miriam Clancy, right here on Night Ride FM.
And once again, that was Glowing in the Dark, Diamond Field featuring Miriam Clancy. Did I get it?
Yep.
You got it. Yes. She's another New Zealander friend who actually lives in Pennsylvania these days.
Oh, cool. That's close to home.
And yeah, she's just finished recording a new record, and she had put out a new record when we started doing that song together in 2019, and it was produced by Chris Cody, who did TV on the radio in the years and Beach House and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool record, and I got to play bass with her for a couple of live shows for the album launch, which was nice.
Nice. Wow.
So
do you like playing bass live? Like, do you do that during your own performances, or is it just like when you're... Oh, really?
Yeah, well, so like I play in quite a few different bands, all kinds of different music, and I'm usually the bass player. So
nice.
Yeah, it's great because you can.
Do you got the bass face? Do you got that? You got to have a bass face, right?
Yeah, you can check out. There's some pictures. I'm sure a few pictures out there with a few different faces going on, different depending on what style of music it is.
Right, because if you get the funky music, then you gotta dig in there and get that real funky sound going out.
But by the way, I found Miriam Clancy's Instagram. I love a little blurb there. It says, "I am a band and I won't break up."
With myself. Yeah, exactly. No, check her out because her own stuff is amazing. It's really amazing.
That's awesome. That's
kind of the other reason why I use all these different people, because they have their own music in their own right, and I think if they're on my record, maybe they'll get some people going to check out their stuff. Vice
I think
versa.
that's the best thing about collabs, right? Because if they have fans, they're gonna discover you.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be good.
It's all about community and just one artist helping out another and just networking. And speaking of Nina Luna, who we played the first track by you, she did the vocals on that, but you also did a remix, which we're gonna play in just a little bit. And she has her own song, Force of Nature, which you did a remix for, which is cool.
Nina and I have been playing together for since about 2014, 2013, because she was the first vocalist on a Diamond Field single, and that was Neon Summer. That's her.
Oh, okay.
She was using her last name Nina Yasmina at that point, but she's got a stage name Nina Luna. It's easier to say.
Yeah, for sure.
And she's put out a ton of singles and EPs over the years. And when she was in New York, we used to play shows together. I used to play her stuff. And she's in Minneapolis these days, but she's just put out Force of Nature, which is a new song for her, and said, "Hey, can you do a Diamond Field remix of it?" And I said, "Yep."
Nice.
It's Nina, and she's part of the whole thing. She's on the new record. She was on the first single, and I've done a few remixes for her before, and it's just nice again to be able to, keep that collaboration going.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, very good. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna play that in a little bit
later on. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. I also hear that you know this guy named Valingo.
The hell's his name?
Valingo. Aaron Valingo.
Yeah, you guys go back a little bit, huh?
Yeah. We go back a long. I do the occasional bit of writing for Valingo's site. I think the last thing I did was the Michael Oakley Odyssey album review and question and answer.
Oh. Are you a Electric Youth fanatic like he is?
I am not, but I do like them. And
don't we all?
He and I went to their show at Brooklyn Steel for their latest record. No, it wasn't Brooklyn Steel. It was next to the old Rough Trade in Brooklyn. And that was a great show. And of course he knows them, and so we were able to say hello at the end of it. And they're very nice Canadian people.
They're from Toronto.
They're from Toronto, yes, indeed.
When I discovered synthwave, I had such a crush on Bronwyn. I think she was my first female artist. Obviously, you start with Kavinsky and Gunship and Electric Youth, and
absolutely. No, they're fantastic. And I think we all heard the Drive thing.
Yeah,
with those guys, and Yeah, but Aaron is a good guy. He knows his stuff. Great blog to check out, valingo.com. Actually, we're catching up. He's down here on Saturday. It's his birthday coming up. He's
actually, look at that.
That's right.
He's coming back to New York?
Yeah, but Jules, you'll like this. He's here for the midnight show tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Which I believe is sold out at Brooklyn Steel, which is a big place.
I'm seeing him on Friday, and I'm very excited about that in Philly. But yeah.
Hope his ears are burning.
So yeah, Aaron, if you are checking this out, we gave you a shout out. So, we love you. Doing your thing, man. He's very selective on his synthwave, but the stuff that he picks is pretty good.
He's not a synthwave blog. It kind of covers some stuff. I like the compilation, the Valingo compilation, which you can still buy on CD, and I think the cassettes are pretty much sold out. That was a pretty eclectic. Matos. What else was on there? Bunny X. There was tons of.
Anorak, which is one of my favorite.
The who's who of OG synth.
Yeah. And that's because they all said, we think Aaron's a good guy. He's got some good blog and authentic, and we're going to give him an exclusive track. So
yeah. Well, apparently, you're not authentic unless you have a Valingo T-shirt, right?
That's right. I get it.
Or a coffee
I still gotta
mug.
get one. I'm not authentic. I need to get myself a Valingo. Does he still sell them?
He gets them in actually, he hasn't sold them in a while, but he usually gets them in batches, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't think I think he posted, will I be able to sell another batch if I order some? But
next batch, I'm in. I'm all in.
This is the state of synth, not Valingo.
This is. Oh, speaking of, Jules, did you know that we have State of Synth T-shirts?
Oh yes.
Oh, there you go. They've got the logo on them, right?
They do. Yes.
Let me put a link into the chats for those of you listening, because I have one.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna get one.
I don't have one, but you know what? I can't wear my own shirt.
You got that cool Night Ride one that's not even sold anywhere.
I do, but here's the thing: I can't wear that either. I'm gonna go to the midnight show on Friday, and I think I'm actually gonna wear a Neon Fox shirt so I can support my homie.
Everybody will know you from.
Yeah, it's kind of like what is it? It's a passive promotion of the brand, I guess. It's totally recognized. It's like when I went to Neon Festival and there was Cobra Commander and his Cobra Commander. Oh, yes,
that helmet.
He was everywhere.
But when I saw him in Outland too, I couldn't wait for him to see him on the floor.
But Jules, don't you wear those neon glasses around?
I wear the Neon Fox mask.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
It's a pain in the butt, but yeah, I try and.
So it's obviously you. No imposters.
They're
not yet.
Actually, isn't that a thing where there are supposed to be many imposters? Isn't that the whole? You know what? The whole key of the aesthetic.
I've done a couple of DJ sets. If I was rich, I'd go and make a whole ton of those and just hand them out to the crowd, right? So everyone in the crowd's wearing an
anonymous mask. That's great.
It'll look like anonymous. Everyone's
exactly.
Yeah.
The synthwave anonymous.
Some freaky Mr. Robot episode from hell where everyone's wearing the mask. All right, so I guess we're gonna play another track here. We got a couple more touch points here. We'd like to touch with the Mr. Andy Diamond, but let's dive into this track. We talked about this a little bit a couple minutes ago. This is Force of Nature, and this is actually a Nina Luna track. Now this is a Diamond Field remix. So
the song is already out. The Nina's original was already out, and the remix comes out on Friday. So this one was a bit of fun because it was it's kind of a bit more electro sounding, a bit more kind of you'll hear when you hear it. But,
by the way, so I popped Nina's Bandcamp link in the chats there, ninaluna.bandcamp.com. Will the remix be out on her Bandcamp or yours?
It's all her stuff. So the best place to probably find Nina is on streaming services like the one that starts with S and Tidal, Apple Music, all that stuff.
Cool.
Well, there you go. And we're going to go ahead and play it. Once again, this is Force of Nature by Nina Luna, the Diamond Field. Wow, I'm already flubbing words. Diamond Field remix right here on Night Ride FM.
I won't apologize for my
And once again, that was Force of Nature, the Diamond Field remix. That was by Nina Luna. I love that tune. It's cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bit of fun, something different.
Yeah.
I haven't done a remix for people for a while because I'm busy. I've been busy, and they take up a little bit of time, but sometimes you can just jump on them and get them done. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know, our friend System Glitch, Bobby,
Yes.
seems like his entire days are spent doing remixes for others.
He's a
That's
beast.
But,
man.
well, you know,
I-
you said it took a while for my album to come out, and that's one of the reasons because
Yeah.
I was doing stuff for other people.
Yeah.
I gotta,
It's fun, though.
I gotta admit, I gotta tell everyone though. I don't know, David. Dennis. You gotta pester Bobby to get a sneak peek of his remix of Bunny X's track.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
It is something
Really?
else. Yeah.
All
it's
right.
coming out on their remix album.
Yes. Yes.
So I know this is a Diamond Field interview, but Bunny X getting a remix from Kim Wilde. What?
Wow. Ricky Wilde.
Ricky Wilde. Oh, I thought it was Kim Wilde that was actually
Well,
going to
Kim
be
Wilde. I
remixing.
think Kim Wilde is gonna feature on there.
Yeah, she features on it.
my
But
God.
because Ricky was, he instrumental in all of Kim stuff, and he produced that Nina album, not my Nina, but Nina from Aztec Records.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was on that. He put that one together. So I think Aztec has a little relationship with Ricky now.
Oh.
Yeah.
And of course, Bunny X are on Aztec.
Yeah.
So
That's
how all
amazing.
that stuff happens.
Yeah, it's all about the networking and whatnot. But yeah, I think that is incredible. I love the fact that the old school synthwave artists are looking at it in a way that we're looking at the 80s with fond, eyes and memories and thoughts, and they're doing the same, most of them, I don't see many, I don't see like Rick Astley going, these guys are stealing our sound, people are embracing each other. Like the classic artists are embracing the artists that are coming up and going back and embracing them. So I think that's really cool. John Carpenter, perfect example. I mean, he could be like, these guys are ripping off my sound, but no, he's like literally like, putting his vocals in Gunship albums and stuff. Like it's incredible that they have, it's all about music. That's what I think is really cool about music is, you can just have that commonality and, you don't have to fight.
There was an issue though, I think, in that over the last, not so much right now, but maybe the last 20 years, 10 years, where a lot of those legacy acts from the 80s were, getting a bit like, oh, we've got to put a record out, so we have to get with the latest hot producer. Mm-hmm. And, it was Timbaland or whoever, and it just didn't sound like them. And I know people have to move on and try new things, but sometimes people just like the sound of a band because they love that sound. And if you try and change it too much, it doesn't always work out. And I think there was this kind of baggage that these legacy acts like Duran Duran and stuff were trying to get with these younger producers and do stuff, but it didn't always work. And I think now they don't, there's nothing wrong with trying to sound like what you're best at. And if a younger synthwave producer or something can come along and say, hey, let's get back to your roots and let's work on something that sounds like you, I think that's a respectful thing.
Yeah.
Well said.
Absolutely.
And because the only band that I really think really kept going and still does their original sound is OMD, and they haven't really strayed, and they haven't sound stale because they're still doing synth pop. They sound great because they just know how to do their stuff.
Right, absolutely. Speaking of, which we're not really speaking of live tours or shows or nothing like that, but I do have horrible segues every now and then. But speaking of live shows, let's talk about something that you put on social media the other day, and it kind of got me excited because we're all about finally getting out after COVID and coming to places and seeing people play live. Like I said, I'm going to go see the Midnight on Friday. Jules saw his Midnight, and I think, what is it? Tomorrow night is going to be, they're going to play New York. You're going to be doing a possible show in New York around June, I believe, and you're just kind of in the early stages of putting it together, but I'm really excited to, I'd like to see if we can kind of get a thing, maybe get up there and check it out. And so you put your word out there and you're trying to generate stuff. I think that's great that, to me, like when you can kind of put 2 or 3 acts together, I think that really makes it like a really sweet package. And people travel. Like I'm trying to drag Jules's butt down from Canada, so we'll see if we can make that happen. But how did that come about?
Well, it's always been the intention to do a live version of Diamond Field. I mean, I'm a live player first and foremost, so I love to play live. But obviously I needed to finish a record so I could have a set of songs.
Right.
And so that was my priority, to get the record done and then figure out how to actually put the bloody thing together, because if anything, when you're using different vocalists on a record, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot because you can't have them all on stage together.
Right.
This is probably one of the reasons Gunship doesn't tour.
Right. Well, so you have to kind of think, well, you can't have 10 different vocalists from, 5 different countries on stage or in states and things. So I got a vocalist who can do all of the songs, cover all of the songs. Her name is Jenny Bates, and she's a friend of ours, of Bunny X and stuff. She's a fantastic singer with a big set of pipes, and she's really into the music, and we've had a rehearsal already, and it sounds great. She's nailed it. And she's basically chosen the songs that she likes, that she wants to sing live. And so we've got a couple of oldies in there. We've got a couple of different versions and a few surprises. And as you know, in the synthwave scene, it tends to be laptop or backing tracks and stuff. And we aren't any different in that regard for this show. We've got some backing tracks, and then I'm playing bass or guitar or synth, depending on what I can get away with. Not all together, obviously. But
yeah, you can't do it all.
No. And then she'll be singing, and so it'll be a nice little duo, and hopefully we can expand that out. Over time, get a drummer on an electronic kit or another guitar player or something. But if we can start as a duo, it means we can actually get out there and start playing shows. And from all the acts that I've seen, like at Neon or here locally, duos are certainly, with backing tracks, certainly aren't looked at down on the nose, that it's kind of cheating or anything. Or karaoke, it's always a lot of fun. So that's definitely confirmed for Friday, June the 10th. It's at a new venue in Brooklyn called Brooklyn Music Kitchen. It's quite small. It only holds about 100 people, I believe. But it's brand new. It's got a nice little stage. There's tables you can eat and all that kind of stuff. And so we've got Bunny X on the bill.
Nice.
And we just are confirming 2 other acts, and I can tell you who they are. It's as you mentioned before, Dennis, and let's just give you the names.
I know. So one of them's Parlor Magic, I believe.
Parlor Magic,
because he reached out to me. He was like, "Thanks for tagging me."
No, cool.
I love it.
If you should check out Parlor Magic, he's going to be doing pretty much a debut live show as well.
That's awesome.
But it's cool synth stuff, really cool sounding. And the other one is Stereo Off. We're hoping are going to be they're a trio, and they do cool sort of synth music as well.
Oh,
and
cool.
They're all local from New York City, so that it'll be nice. So generally with these types of venues, they have like several bands on over the night. They have different bands, different genres, and it was important for me to try and keep it all synthy so that we can have a nice we can stay the whole night. We'll take it over, and we'll have our little fun, and we'll have everybody hanging out together.
Preach the gospel of synth.
That's
exactly.
It. Yes.
Yeah. So otherwise you run into an issue where we're playing our nice little synthy pop songs, and then there's a death metal band on after, and all the crowd goes.
Right. Yeah. That happens
hey,
from time to time.
I already have a bunch of stereo off tracks.
Oh, you do?
Look at that.
They're
I'm already
great.
following them. God.
Look at that, Jules. You are on point with this music. I tell you what, speaking of music, why don't we go ahead and drop another track?
Mm-hmm.
And this is one that's a great tune right here. Mr. Jules, do you want to go ahead and set this one up real quick?
Okay, sure. Oh, so we're moving on. We're moving away from Mr. Field, and we're just gonna. This is a submission, right?
This was a submission, submit.nightride.fm. You can submit music
go.
and a bunch of submissions we're going to play tonight.
Yeah.
So, yay.
So, this artist is from Slovenia and dropped a fresh new track called Mainframe. Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I mean, no, I'm just saying, because, a lot of the time, there's always new people, new artists, and they, if you guys are offering submissions, it's great, because you don't want to get into a situation where you can't send your music to the audience that you want to break into. And it's really great that you guys do it still.
Absolutely.
So sorry, I'm just butting in.
No, but it's also it gets to a certain point where it's almost. I mean, I was really good at discovering artists when I was following like 1,000 of them. When you hit like 1,800 to 1,900 artists, it's getting harder and harder to find new artists. They're out there, just lost in my. Submissions, you got to rely on them.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
So Neuromancer, the artist Neuromancer, does a mix of synth and like synthwave and dark synth. This track, it's called Mainframe Terror. Not so much dark synth, but it borders on it. So here it is, right here on Night Ride FM.
And once again, that was Neuromancer with Mainframe Terror. I like that tune, man. Very cool.
It starts like a normal synth track, and then it goes dark.
Yeah.
The mainframe has been terrorized.
There you go. By the way, a quick shout out to a couple of people who have joined us in the last 20 minutes or so on the IRC chat. Art the Brawler,
Hey,
joining us. Strangeland, Cool, and Yoru.
Hey,
Yoru. Well,
shout out to Yoru. Very good.
All the way from Malaysia.
Welcome, people.
Yeah, always nice to tune in live, and it's always fun to hang out.
Yes, and remember, it's a different time of the day.
Yeah, all over the world. We are just Synthwave is a global thing. You got people from Australia and Malaysia. It's insane.
That's one of the things I like about this community. It's I don't think if you were like into your local grunge scene, I don't think you'd be rubbing shoulders with grunge artists and fans from Australia or like Spain right now,
Yeah.
Synthwave, there's something about synthwave that
it's a community.
A little more,
I think
it's the nostalgia. It's we're all everybody's addicted to nostalgia.
We're all here for the nostalgia.
The thing I like though is actually how many younger people are into it, and
Yes.
I mean, and people that I know or that aren't into music or have no idea what synthwave is, but they just like my record, and young people, they like it. In their early 20s or whatever, and it's like, yeah, just really like the music. And it's like, oh, there's no nostalgia kick for you? No, I just like it.
What blows my mind is some of the best synth artists are 25 years old. How is that possible?
Yes.
Well, you think about it, people emulating bands from the 60s or whatever.
Yes,
that's
true.
I used to do that. I love 60s music, and because I was an 80s kid, you always go back 20 years. It's like a rule. You go back 20 years, and you're like, oh man, the 60s were so cool, man. They had Woodstock, and I feel like it just goes in 20-year cycles, which is cool though.
Yeah.
But speaking of albums and all things that are cool, we would like to go ahead into some album drops. I know, Mr. Jules, you have a nice long, crunchy list of names for albums to go down the row, and actually we're going to break it up a little bit. So you're going to do a few, and I'm going to do a little bit, and let's talk about some albums, man. What's coming out, Mr. Jules?
All right. Well, last week, for those who may have missed it, March 18th, last Friday, The Last Years dropped an album called The After, as well as, I believe, Aztec artist Syntronics dropped an album called The Root. And our buddy from Finland, Runaway Droid, dropped a single called Slow Motion. And, of course, Carpenter Brute dropped their latest single, which features Alex from Gunship, called The Widowmaker.
Wow, nice. All right, it's my turn. We're doing this back and forth thing because we feel like Jules takes too much of the
all the listings I just rattle off.
Yeah, although I can't pronounce any of these things. I hope you gave me some good names here. I can pronounce most of these. Starfarer. This is March 25th, which is Friday. So Starfarer is coming out with Anomaly. That is a single. We have Liquid Modern, another single coming out, and that is Lack of Access. That's his single coming out. And Jacket. Is it Jacket?
Yep.
With the period. Very good.
Yeah.
At the end.
Jacket.
And he's coming out with a single, Take My Light, featuring Gray Star's music.
Yep.
Very cool. And
who's this?
What's this guy doing? This is a synthwave
Do you know
list.
This guy? I've never heard of this guy.
This is a synthwave album release list. He's not supposed to be on this. Kavinsky?
Yeah, no.
Who is that guy? Coming out with Reborn. He's Reborn. And
I know who it is.
It's an album. He's French.
Yeah.
Does it start with a K by any chance?
2D Cats. I love 2D Cat.
It does.
2D Cat
Mr.
is
Kavinsky.
2D Cat is coming out with a single called The Music, and I'm sure it's very groovy. So,
Yeah.
Jules, you want to kick off the rest of these dates?
Oh yeah, well, it's like I mentioned earlier, because we heard a track from this album, March 26th, L'Avenue. I don't know why he chooses Saturdays. Some artists do Wednesdays, some do Thursdays, some release stuff on Fridays. L'Avenue likes to do Saturdays. He's dropping his new album called Electrique, and I'm sure it'll be Le Fabulous. And buy
it on the vinyl.
Merch.
Is that coming on the vinyl too?
Oh yeah, vinyl, CD, cassette, and then I believe posters and stickers. And,
Always does really nice packaging.
yeah.
Indeed.
And then finally, let's see, April 1st, Elixir from Down Under.
Australia, mate.
Yeah, Australia.
Australia.
And also Neilio from the UK. He's from Newcastle upon Tyne. I love those
He's
names.
from Newcastle, is he?
Yeah. Yeah, they're dropping a new single, another collab by those two called Undercurrents. That happens April 1st, next Friday.
Very, very cool. All right, let's dive into a couple more tracks here. This next one, I'm going to go ahead and call this one out here. Is another one of our submissions from a Finnish artist, Zone 85. It is made up of two cousins. This is Halpawave, once again, by Zone 85, right here on Night Ride FM. Once again, that was, what is it?
Zone 85.
Hope Wave.
Finland.
Hope Wave.
Hope
Yeah, I love the
Wave.
arpeggiation or whatever you call it going on in that.
Yes, that's the Hope Wave sound.
Yeah, the Hope Wave. By the way, I gotta thank while we were listening to that tune, our buddy Dysterian in the IRC chat reminded us that also dropping Friday, Dead Life's new album.
Oh yeah,
Tortured Waters.
How do we miss
comes
that?
Comes out on New Retro Waves. So new retrowave.bandcamp.com, and you can also pre-save it on Spotify if you go to deadlife.lnklink.to too.
I guess that'll be physical as well, right? They usually do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, new
NRWs, they go to town with that stuff.
They can, and Dead Life too. He's got quite the following. So.
Oh yeah, especially.
I wonder how long the vinyl's going to take if they're doing vinyl, because I mean, a lot of the stuff.
It'll probably. I'm still waiting on 4 vinyls from NRW that I ordered like early last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did get Sandra Gavin's vinyl though. That arrived this week.
You know, I blame Adele. Adele's the one to blame. She had to use up all the plastic in the world.
Tim and Tyler at the concert, they were talking about their upcoming album.
Oh, really?
And they were saying, yeah, it'll be up on vinyl, but I think they were saying like sometime around September, providing Adele doesn't release another.
They have to do a repress or something.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, so speaking of good times, let's go ahead and drop some birthdays in the house, Mr. Jules. Do we have any birthdays in the house? I know we have birthdays.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a birthday, right?
Yeah, you can start off with a few here.
All right. So we have, on March 23rd, we have Meteor.
Today, yeah.
That's today.
Meteor.
So happy birthday, Meteor. And anyone in the IRC, if your birthday is today, happy birthday to you as well. March 24th, Andrea Powell, the other half of Eric C. Powell. Happy birthday
Great artist
to you.
out of Austin, Texas.
Yeah. What do we got, Jules?
Oh, yeah. So March 27th, our friend from Perth, Down Under, Craig Packman.
Hey,
Craig.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, mate.
There you go.
In the chat.
There you go.
Get yourself a pack of fucking Fosters, mate. Get pissed.
Yeah. Nice. And one of my favorites, and a nice Aussie meat pie, god damn it.
Yeah, they're good.
And let's see. March 28th, Alex Lightspeed is having a birthday. We played a track from his new album that's coming out sometime. I think he said like summer. It all depends on what Rosso Corsa Records and Electric EDR Records, or Electric Dream, or Electronic EDR. What they can do in terms of vinyl. But yeah, he's celebrating a birthday, as well as our friend Thunder Porpoise.
Hey.
Ooh, love that name.
Yeah, Thunder Porpoise, like Cat Temper, does all kinds of crazy puns on album names, title name, like track names.
It's great.
Let's see, and somebody, I don't know if anybody knows who this is. Ashley from Forged in Neon
Yes.
is celebrating a birthday on the 28th of March.
Very good.
Sign of March, people.
Yeah.
What is it going to be? I don't know, something or other.
Yeah, I think what sign?
Yeah, like, is there a special synthwave zodiac sign for people born in
We
March?
should make a synthwave
that's a
zodiac
good idea.
calendar.
Yeah, it can be like named after a synth, right? It'll be like Juno.
Yeah.
The Juno sign.
I was born in the Juno moon.
I love it.
GX,
In fact, that's a couple more synthwave band names that we can crank out. Right there.
Hey, I want some royalties on it.
There you go. Yeah.
I would definitely sing happy birthday to everybody, but I'm told you I'm not a singer.
Indeed. You're going to have Becca Starr.
You'll get Nina Luna or
Becca Starr
or
Cody Carpenter.
Get Becca Starr to wail it right at you.
She could do the Marilyn Monroe happy birthday.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, so let's drop another track, Mr. Jules. What do you think?
Yep. Let's do it.
All right.
All right. We mentioned Aztec earlier. Andy did. Aztec Records artist Era out of Quebec, Montreal, Quebec to be specific, and Power Rob from Baltimore have partnered up to deliver this fresh tune called A Little Time. You're hearing it. You're hearing it right here on Night Ride FM.
Boom.
She says we're getting crazy. I feel a little lazy. She's calling me amazing, but to me, I'm just another fool lately. I seem to be mistaken when my heart is overtaken, when my love is overbreaking. So it seems, can you be so bored? Sky's falling for a fantasy. Get out and lose control as we dancing for eternity. But to me, just gotta take a little time for the sweet surrender. When she says don't go, as we're dancing on the moonlight, just gotta take a little time, like a distant thunder. When she says I know, as we're racing on the red line, I've got nothing to lose. She's got something to prove. You say you'll never been so alive when your love's on the line. I see something in you. You've been breaking the rules. You say you'll never been so alive with the beat. Can you be so bored? Sky's falling for a fantasy. Get out and lose control as we dancing for eternity. But to me, just gotta take a little time for the sweet surrender. When she says don't go, as we're dancing on the moonlight, just gotta take a little time, like a distant thunder. When she says I know, as we're racing on the red line, just gotta take a little time for the sweet surrender. When she says don't go, as we're dancing on the moonlight, just gotta take a little time, like a distant thunder. When she says I know, as we're racing on the red line. Just gotta take a little time for the sweet surrender. When she says don't go, as we're dancing on the moonlight, just gotta take a little time, like a distant thunder. When she says I know, as we're racing on the red line, just gotta take a little time for the sweet surrender. When she says don't go, as we're dancing on the moonlight, just gotta take a little time.
Once again, that was Era featuring Power Rob with A Little Time. And I tell you what, I'm just going to say right now that Power Rob is a hell of a performer. I saw him perform with his band, and they were great. You know, they played in Philly, and I loved it. So, yep, definitely go check him out if he is doing a show live. I think he's opening up for Steel Panther. His band that I can't remember. Thrill Killer, yes. Thrill Killer is opening up for Steel Panther. That's crazy.
Let's forget his other venture, Megatronics, with Dark Rob.
Yeah.
They're opening up for Magic Sword and Dance of the Dead in Baltimore.
So go ahead,
Damn right.
Rob.
Speaking of places opening up, oh, by the way, I want to just quick shout out to Nicholas De Filippis, who's over on YouTube. His birthday is on March 27th coming up.
Nice.
So, yeah, happy birthday, Nicholas.
Happy birthday. And Jules, you win the best segue of the night. I'm going to give you a shiny gold star. Yeah, we are talking about tours and events. So
Yep.
Let's dive right into it. I will start off here March 18th through May 10th. That is ongoing for you, ladies and gentlemen. They were in Canada, New York, and now they are going to be in Philly on Friday. So we have the midnight in North America, London, Glasgow, and Dublin. So big tour. planned for the midnights.
Right. And then also starting tonight, March 23rd through to May 15th, Magic Sword and Dance with the Dead are on their North American tour. And I believe at first it started off Das Mortal was going to be on their Canadian leg, but now Das Mortal is doing the entire North American tour with them. So,
wow.
Yeah, you get Magic Sword, Dance with the Dead, Das Mortal, and if you're in Baltimore, you get Megatronics too.
Nice.
That's sick. So March 26th, you have Future Sounds in London with Sunglasses Kid, 80s Stallone. Wow, he's coming out of, I feel like he's coming out of retirement.
Where?
Next we'll have NPM soundtracks coming out of the retirement.
Ooh.
Wow, nice.
Shh, didn't hear that from me. It's not true.
Yep.
Iverson, New Arcades, DJ Shira, and Patrick Fakeman. So that's exciting. That is Future Sounds in London on March 26th.
They also have good shows in London, don't they?
Oh
They do.
yeah, they're lucky, and they've got the Outland crew over there too, with their Outland, what is it, the cruise?
Yep.
Oh yeah, the boats.
Crazy.
Yeah. So let's see, April 1st, over in Stockholm, at the Folan. It's like it used to be an industrial warehouse or something, converted into like some concert hall. You're gonna feature Swedish favorites like Wave Shaper, Robert Parker, Fool, and Neon Nox.
Awesome.
Very good. And April 7th, we have in Atlanta, we have Terminus Retro Wave with Lucy in Disguise, System 96, Navigator, and Mark Warren. So check that out, April 7th.
Terminus Retrowave, for those of you who don't already know, is something put on by Watch Out for Snakes and a couple of other guys.
Yeah.
That guy just doesn't stop sweating and working.
Indeed. And
let's see.
this
yeah.
June 11th in New York City.
June 10th.
June 10th. Jules, you're fired.
God damn it.
Just take the one off.
Just did.
June 11th -1. We have New York City with Diamond Field, and we have Bunny X and Parlor Magic and Stereo Off. That is a killer lineup. I'm excited. I might have to hop up there. I got to check the date though. My
might
wife
have to
keeps
go
me
down
busy.
Well, first time we've announced it is right here. So
Exclusive.
and yeah, so that's good. I'm actually going to a good show in April, and they're on a North American tour. It's Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
Oh, OMD.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very good.
Enola Gay. All right, anyways. I'll end this off with, let's see, August 18th to November 6th, Carpenter Brute is doing their world tour. And I know if you're in Toronto like me, that'll be August 30th.
There you go. Go out and support your local synthwave artist, because Bandcamp is great, but seeing a artist live is always so much better and funner.
Oh, I think also, I didn't put it in here, but I believe September-ish to October, Perturbator is on tour with Health.
Ooh,
Yeah.
very nice.
If you're a Perturbator fan, especially if you like his new stuff, because I bet you he'll be playing a lot of that,
Indeed.
he's on tour.
Well, there you go. Go out and see a show.
Yeah, they're awesome. I can vouch for artists live.
Fantastic stuff. Actually see people listen to music. Don't forget your earplugs, people.
Earplugs, yes. At one point I was going to have a sponsor. In fact, I offered to Eargasm. I was going to ask if they wanted to sponsor the show, but nobody wants to pay me money to say anything. But you know what? I'm going to give them a free plug. I do. I have my Eargasm.
Oh, excuse the pun.
They are, oh man, my favorite is when I say a pun. I don't even realize I said it, but yes, that was a good one.
By the way, you know what? I got it. If you want to know more about synthwave concerts in particular, just head on over to news.nightride.fm, the website, and click on the concerts tab.
Yes.
You'll get a list
It's good
of.
you guys do that, because sometimes you don't find out about the shows until after they've been.
Yeah, that's why I started creating this list. When I got into synthwave, and then I found out all these big artists had just come through Toronto like a month earlier, kicking myself. And Songkick and Bands in Town are useless when it comes to niche genres. So
Yeah.
So we are the niche resource for your needs.
Well, thank you very much for informing the masses. There you go.
Let's play another track. What do you think, Mr. Neon Fox?
Yeah, let's do it. So there's another submission. What is it? Submit.nightride.fm.
That's it.
If you are an artist and you want us to get some music included in the radio or on our show. French artist, Mercury82. Friends with artists like Toxic Avenger. Recently released this new tune called Dangerous Game. You're listening to it right here on Night Ride FM.
And once again, that was Dangerous Game by Mercury82. Cool tune. Very good. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Find them at mercury82.bandcamp.com.
Yes, go ahead and do that. And we want to give you a couple quick closing announcements that we have, I guess, written down. patreon.com/NightRideFM. You can support Night Ride FM and to give us some money to help us with some server fees, which is always helpful because Z gets walloped walloped with server fees. It's ridiculous. But we do have some amazing people that help out and support the station. Brand new, we have Ralph Mancini, we have Icarus, we have Dennis Bark, we also have Egg Shin and Rex Balls. Both of them, they increased their pledge. So thank
Eggy.
you so much. Eggy and Rex, we don't know where Rex is. He is MIA. I don't know.
Maybe he's listening but not logged in.
I hope so. Usually
Lurking.
he's always on the IRC. He's always on Discord, but maybe he's got a big business meeting going on or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's on a bender. I'm not sure. Rex Balls, much love out to you. Thank you for increasing your pledge wherever you are, my friend. If you would like to directly support The State of Synth, you can always go to thestateofsynth.com. We have show notes. We have all the tracks that we play. We have different ways you can subscribe. And also in the top right-hand corner, you can buy us a beer. If that is your thing, you can always buy us a beer and say thank you for whatever the hell we do.
Don't forget T-shirts, too.
Buy a T-shirt. That
Maybe
goes
I think we
directly into
Throw
Jules' slush
pillows, I don't
fund.
know, what-
Exactly.
And you know what? We must say thank you to our guest tonight,
Yeah.
Andy Diamond, aka Diamond Field. Thank you so much for sticking with us this long.
Yeah, this was a
thank
ton
you
of fun.
guys.
This was a blast.
Great.
And
Flew by. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, wow.
we're going to go and check him out. He's playing in June, so go up to New York and check out his show with the Bunnies and a lot of great acts to boot.
Don't forget to get his album. You can still get it on physical as well. It's over at So Fucking Vinyl.
So
That's
fucking
so
vinyl. Yes.
Fucking
King
vinyl.
Vinyl.
We have
dot
CDs
com.
left, some tapes left, and there's still some vinyl left, which is good. And yeah, thanks for everyone who's already got one and having a listen. And yeah, thanks guys for having us on the show. It's always fantastic to get supported by our favorite synth network.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking
so
of networking, also don't forget to give Diamond Field a follow. Diamond_Field on social media.
And there it is. That's our show. We did it. We pulled it off. And we're going to play one more song. What do you think? Play one more song to close us out. And this is a nice chill wave. So we don't play a lot of chill wave songs, but why not? It's the end of the night. We're going to lull you to sleep with this beautiful chill wave track. This is by T120.
Like as in the VHS cassettes.
Yes, exactly. We're going to lull you to sleep to the sound of rewinding VCRs. Be kind, rewind, and tip your local bartender. I don't know. Are we done?
We're done.
Yeah,
We're done.
I think so.
All right. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you in movies.